D. Miller, welcome to the podcast, bro. Glad to have you on, man.
Appreciate you having me. Bro.
Already. First thing we always do with our podcast, man, we start off talking to our guests about bourbon. Us being from Kentucky, bourbon's a big thing. Do you drink bourbon? If so, what's a go-to for you? What's one that you really like?
Yeah, I drink bourbon every now and then, and I keep it simple. Most of the time, I go with makers, something like that. I don't really, explore too much. Some of my friends, my close friends, are really into bourbon, so I've tasted quite a few. But just makers is solid. It's convenient, so most of the time I stick with that.
Right. All right, let's switch over to the basketball aspect. So coming up, Maysville, you went to Mason County, but before Mason County, when you were growing up, who was somebody that you wanted to emulate, or somebody that you looked up to, or that you may have wanted to kind of, pattern your basketball game after on the basketball court?
Honestly, I don't know, man. There was a lot of different players I really enjoyed watching back in the day. So I guess I try to take a little bit from every player that I liked. I liked a lot of different players. I watched a lot of different teams, so it's hard for me to say really.
Okay, nice. Coming out of Mason County, Mr. Basketball, one of the best players in America. Talk about your recruiting process. Who were some schools that recruited you, and what ultimately made you choose UK?
Kentucky, Louisville, Florida, Texas. It was I was blessed, man. I had quite a few options. So the reason that I chose Kentucky, I just built a relationship with some of the players. Patrick Patterson kind of took me under his wing. Jody Meeks, a couple of those guys. When I came on a visit, it kind of just felt natural. It flowed really well. The times that I did get to play a little bit of pickup with them, I enjoyed playing on the court with them. So it really came down to that, just my visits and the relationship I built with a couple of the players.
Now, did you feel any pressure from the home state to maybe go to UK?
Not really. I'm sure a lot of people, there was a lot of people saying it, but I didn't really feel any pressure for it. Nah, not for real.
Bet. Now, when you played your senior year, you guys had 6 NBA guys on your team. You were one of the, lone seniors on there. You played with Anthony Davis, you played with Alex Jones,
Michael Kidd,
Gilchrist, Marcus T.
Yeah.
Talk about that team and what your role was, because you were the lone senior, but you were kind of like that guy that held it together, even though you guys were talented. Talk about just the experience of what it took to bring together all of the talent and get those guys to blend in to be one unit.
I guess I was kind of like the glue guy. We had just went to the Final Four before, so I knew what it took. I knew what we was going to have to focus on. I knew how tough it was going to be. So, my bad. 1 second, bro.
There you go.
So, yeah, I just tried to be a steady guy on the team. Make sure we stayed focused on what the goal was. But it was really easy with those guys, man. They were extremely talented, but they were all pretty good guys and really, really, really good teammates. So my job wasn't too difficult. I just tried to be there in those low patches and help make sure everybody stayed focused, really.
But I always felt like in big moments when you guys needed a big play or a big bucket, you were the go-to guy. You would get down there, you played the 3, big size, 6'7", 6'8", mismatch problem for a lot of teams. And you were skilled. You had footwork, you had great footwork and great skill on the block. So felt like you were like sort of like that go-to guy, like that sort of that security blanket for the guys, because everybody talked about the young guys, Anthony Davis, but you were like that security blanket. When things got tough, they always knew they could depend on you for being a go-to to make a play.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I felt like in a lot of those instances, me and T Jones had to make some plays. I feel like you said, there was different times I would play the 3, or and there would be smaller guys on me, or if I played the 4, there would be slower guys on me. So a lot of times I felt like I had a matchup I could take advantage of. And like I said, T Jones did the same thing. And a lot of different moments. A lot of players made plays. Of course, AD. Of course, Durant and Gilly. So I mean, it was kind of spread out, but yeah, I definitely try to take uh, advantage of some of my mismatches when the time needed.
Now, everybody talks about the moment when you guys played Indiana. They always replay the shot, the Christian Wofford shot.
Yeah.
What did that game do for you guys, or did it do anything for you guys?
Oh, it was huge for us. It was huge for us. I think we locked in even more. We felt a certain way about that loss. I feel like we responded pretty well from that. Of course, we had a young team. We was riding high. We hadn't really lost many games, if any. I don't think we lost. I think that was our first loss.
One. I don't think you guys
that was our first loss.
Yeah.
So we was on cloud nine. So that kind of brought us back down a little bit, allowed us to regroup, and that was pretty big for us, honestly.
Yeah, I think that was kind of like that regroup factor to kind of,
yeah.
I don't want to say humbling because, like you said, you guys were, you
guys
brought it every night, but like it's kind of like, okay, like, we're not invincible. And so kind of like get that hunger back in you, man. And you guys just kind of went on a tear after that.
Yeah.
But what was it like playing for Cal? What was Calipari like as a coach on and off the court?
It was great playing for Cal, honestly, man. The thing that I liked about Coach Cal was everything, and every day was competitive. He made the practices really challenging as far as like who you go against. There wasn't any buddies in practice. Everybody was competing against one another, and Cal really got us fired up. He was chirping a little bit. It got the players chirping a little bit. So every single day you had a battle, but that made it really easy when you got to the actual games and you were allowed to enjoy the actual games a lot more.
Right. So you win the 2012 national championship. You go on to get drafted by the New Orleans Pelicans. Talk about that experience of going through the draft and getting drafted by the New Orleans Pelicans, and your thoughts and your experience and how that was for you to achieve that lifelong dream.
It was amazing, man. It was amazing. Especially I got to do that with a close friend of mine in AD. We had built a relationship through the season, so it was a lot easier having somebody there going through the same thing with you. But that was a dream come true, like you said, coming from a basketball state like Kentucky. My pops played basketball, my uncles played basketball, so me being able to reach the highest level was something I was really proud of.
Now, at one point when you guys were in New Orleans, how many UK guys was on there? It was you, AD? I feel like it was another UK guy on there that I'm missing.
Oh yeah, a couple years ago when we went to the playoffs, it was me, AD, DeAndre Liggins, Rondo.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we had a lot of us on the
team. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, it was quite a reunion, man.
Yeah, for sure. We had a lot of fun.
So what was it like, playing against and playing with some of the NBA greats during your time in the NBA?
Amazing, man. Amazing. Getting to play against some Hall of Famers, honestly. Some of the matchups that I've had, people I've been able to be across the court from was, once in a lifetime opportunity. So I had a lot of fun, man. I'm a competitive person, so I really enjoyed going against the best in the world and just having fun with basketball.
So let me ask you this. What was the difference? So when you were playing at Cal, you were playing with future NBA players, and once you got to the NBA, how was that transition for you? Was it much easier since you were already used to playing at a high level each and every day? Or what was the transition like for you going from playing at a blue blood like Kentucky to playing in the NBA for the Pelicans?
It's about what you think. It wasn't extremely difficult, I wouldn't say. Probably more so off the court. Because you have a lot of responsibilities, you change and you immediately become a grown man, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Put into a lot of different situations where you are expected to handle yourself a certain way. So I think the hardest transition, not the hardest transition, but all of it was pretty difficult. But I think Kentucky prepared me pretty well for it.
Nice. Now, after your stint with the Pelicans, well, in between stints with the Pelicans, you went to play in Germany. You won 3 championships. You were Finals MVP. Talk about your experience playing in Germany and playing in the Euro League, and what was your thoughts on that going before you got there and once you got there?
Before I got there, I had no idea what to expect, honestly. You know what I mean? Because you hear different stories. For some people, it's amazing, and then for others, it's a nightmare. So
Right.
I really didn't know what to expect. I was nervous going over there, honestly. And when I got there, it was amazing. It really changed probably my basketball career as far as which way it went, especially the team that I was fortunate enough to play for, just because I kind of got back into a rhythm again.
And
When
that
I
was
was a
Bayern
youngin' in
Munich,
the
right?
league. No, it was actually Brose,
Rose.
Bamberg.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bamberg.
yep,
Okay.
Bamberg. But yeah, I just got into a rhythm again, man. Like being a youngin' in the league at first, you don't get a lot of touches, a lot of opportunity, depending on what team you go to, obviously. But yeah, I didn't get much of an opportunity. I felt like, and then going over to Germany, it was amazing. My coach, he just let me play, and I got that rhythm back up. Figured out exactly what I was good at the next level, and found myself as a player. So I feel like that was huge for me.
So what did you feel like you improved upon during your time in Germany that you were able to bring back when you did your second stint in the NBA with the Pelicans?
I felt like I knew how I wanted to play. Like I kind of found myself and what I needed to be in order to play at the highest level that I could play at. I feel like my shooting took a turn in Germany because I paid attention to it more. I put a little bit more time into it and focused on that rather than everything else. And I think that helped me a lot.
So what position were they having you trying to play in the NBA, and what position were they having you trying to play in Germany? Were you always a 3, or were they trying to play you at the 3-4 according to the lineup, or what position were you wanting to focus on?
At first, my first go around in the league, I feel like I was more of a 2-3.
2-3. Okay.
And then I went to Germany. I played like the 2, the 3, and the 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I came back, I was kind of like a 3-4. The game had changed a little bit. There was more shooting big, smaller power forward. So I played a lot of the 4 position when I came back, and I kind of liked playing that spot. The floor was more spread. I was able to space out, which made me more valuable.
Right. And so after your second stint with the Pelicans, man, you had a few injuries, but you retired and you're still young, man. You don't ever want to think about going back and playing, or just like you kind of had enough and like, I'm ready to move on to the next phase?
Yeah, I'm ready to move on. Honestly, I still hoop. Like I still love to hoop. It's not like I lost my love for it as far as like the game of basketball. You know what I mean? But
right.
I feel like it's just time for me to move on. I got 2 daughters, and of course the lockdown with COVID kind of changed my perspective on some things. And I felt it was important for me to be home with my daughters as much as possible. Obviously, I still do stuff and have to go places for different things, but I felt like it was just time.
Nice. So what's next after retirement for Darius Miller? Coaching, getting into business. What's next for Darius Miller?
Business. I've been working a little bit in the NFT and crypto space, man, diving into that a little bit. I've been into it for a little bit of time now, so I'm gonna see where that takes me.
Nice. So now we reached the part of the podcast we call our bird-proof segment of rapid fire questions. We're gonna shoot you some rapid fire questions. Don't give it a lot of thought. Give us your first answer.
Okay.
We're gonna roll with it.
Yep.
What was it like when you first met President Obama?
Amazing. I'm not a politician, I don't get into which side, this, that.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Just to see that representation in the White House for people that look like us, I feel like that's huge no matter how you look at it. So it was an honor for me to be in front of him, have a conversation with him, chop it up a little bit, and just to have that moment.
Yeah, man, that's an incredible moment. A rare once in a lifetime moment, man. If you could feature yourself in one TV show, which one would it be?
Fresh Prince.
Dig it. Favorite music album?
Oh,
It could be rap, R&B. I'm an R&B dude, but it could be whatever you
I
want.
love R&B. Oh man. That's tough. That's tough. I don't know. I love music. Like I listen to a lot of music, so that's really tough. That's really tough for me.
Your favorite German dish to eat?
Schnitzel.
Schnitzel. Yeah, that was gonna be my guess. Toughest player you ever had to guard?
Oh. Kevin Durant.
Nice. Who's the best player in the world right now?
Man, it's hard for me to not say LeBron, because I like LeBron, man. I like the total package of LeBron. But man, I might have to say Kevin Durant again.
No Giannis?
I like Giannis, man. I love what he brings to the table, but
Just not the best player.
I just don't think he's the best player.
I get you. Last question. Any advice you would give to a younger generation kid that wants to come up and try to achieve the same level of success that you had at the collegiate level and at the NBA level? What would you get? What would you say to them?
You got to fall in love with the grind somehow. Once you get to a certain level, everybody's going to be talented. And there's just going to be the little things that take you over the edge. It could be how hard you play, how hard you work. It can be your knowledge of the game, study the game. And when I say grind, I feel like all of that's included. Working out, the film, the extra, just all the little stuff, the cliche stuff that people say. But I think having fun with that and falling in love with that, well, that'll take you to the next level.
Man, couldn't think of a better way to close out the podcast. D. Miller, appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming on the podcast. It was a pleasure, my man.
Thank you. Appreciate you.